Well, hello everyone. This is CERT Instructor Ron. I just wanted to kind of go over a few things with you. I did a video here last week on things that you're going to need basically for preparation for your vehicle. Things you should probably keep in there all the time, but some things more particular for certain members. So let's go ahead. I'm going to ask you to like and subscribe to get a chance. Check back often. We're going to have new videos going up all the time covering a lot of different subjects. I've already got a lot of stuff posted. Feel free in the comments if you want me to cover something in particular. I'll see what I can do for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to try to keep this simplistic. If you're expecting a disaster in any shape, form, or fashion, you want to prepare specifically for that disaster. So I'm not going to prepare the same for an ice storm per se as I would for a tornado, but we're going to have some things in common like power loss and things like that. So whatever the threat is in your particular part of the world, that's what you want to prepare for. There's some items I don't have up here like space blankets and things like that. That's probably already common knowledge, but just make sure you have some of those things. The other thing I don't have up here is I don't have medicines. So if you're dealing with something where you have individuals in your household that need medicine, you want to make sure that you have a supply of medicines for those people. Also pets, you want to make sure you got food for them or whatever you need to take care of them. I don't have anything up here about that, but I'm going to go ahead and mention that. So let's go ahead and get started. One of the things that you're going to definitely want is you're always going to want to carry paper, something to write with. Some people say pencil, whatever. They make some that are waterproof. That may be good. Other things that you're going to need are just some basic references that you can fall back on so that as you're building your supply, you know exactly what you need. It provides you a checklist. You can find some of this stuff online. A lot of good information online on FEMA's website. Here's a pamphlet that I use. Let me grab my cheaters here. You get to a certain age and, well, the honors just aren't what they used to be. Find your arms aren't long enough to read. So basically a gallon of water per person, at least 3 days. So they're really big on 3-day supply, but you probably ought to go a little further than that if you could do it. And the reason being that a lot of times within 3 days you're going to see somebody that's going to be able to help you out, most likely government or somebody, but if not, be prepared. Necessary to have a battery-powered radio crank that will do the weather stations, flashlight, extra batteries, first aid kit, whistle, dust mask. I don't have that up here, but yeah, I've already spoke about moist towelettes and things like that. You definitely want to have something like that. Wrench pliers, turn off utilities, can opener, and local maps. Now, a lot of that stuff I've already got up here. There are sheets out there, lists that you can download. This is one that we hand out here in Oklahoma for people to get prepared for 21 weeks, and it tells you about how much you're going to need to spend, and this is for a family of 4 as I recall. So there are a lot of lists and things out there, but some additional things that you may want to look at. It just depends on your family and your situation. I've got ham radio. I'd advise everybody get one of those. If you can, the things are not very expensive, but you can listen and see what's going on in your area. If there are no communications and you have to transmit because all communications are down and somebody's life is in danger, you are allowed to use a ham radio at that time. So you got to be careful. It doesn't mean just because it's an emergency you can use it, but the ham plays a very big part with emergency management and in emergencies for communication. So very important. Something else I picked up as far as lighting. You can find these online. It doesn't need batteries. It's solar powered. So it's something that you can have online or find online. Get several of them. They're cheap and not that expensive so that you don't have to worry about lighting and changing batteries. You said I got to get on the water first aid kit, charging phones and other things. You can buy these, I'll call them battery blocks, chargers, whatever you want to call them. You can find these devices in a lot of places like Walmart. Some of them come with flashes. Quite often in disasters, one of the things that you're going to run into is bad water. Now, a lot of people will tell you that just boil your water. Well, hey, that's great if you're trying to kill parasites. The problem that you run into those, there's a lot of pollutants in the water that may have gotten in, so you're going to need some sort of a filter. There's a lot of good ones out here. This is kind of an older one I keep in my backpack, but definitely get one of those, or several. You're going to have candles and things, get you some lighters, put them with your gear, your supplies, whatever, so you'll have them. Can opener, you can pick these up at Walmart, places like that, surplus stores. A lot of people have been in the military. They're going to probably have some from the old days. We call them P-38s back then, warm water dog tags. So this is a miracle thing to have when you got a can of food, you can't open it. This comes in handy. So I'd say have a couple of these on hand. A lot of people don't know about these, or they have the other ones, they have electric one, but they don't have these. But in any case, just make sure you got a way to open cans. Whistle, everybody should have a whistle. I'm going to throw something else in. Compass, good to have a compass, especially if you live in the country. Signs go down, you think you know the landmarkers, but those landmarkers are no longer there due to flooding or tornadoes or whatever. You got a compass, at least you know which direction you're going to go. Or if you have to get out of some place at night, move because of a threat, you don't know which direction to go, you've got a compass. So especially if you're on foot. Speaking of that, if you're on foot and your family has to split, just make sure that you have a meeting place and everybody knows where it is. Make sure your phones are charged. Phones may or may not work. Don't count on them. If you can't make a phone call, I've said this before, you can send a text. So if you go into your storm shelter, send a text to somebody and tell them, hey, in 2 hours or whatever, if I don't contact you, please call me, get a hold of me. And if you can't get a hold of me, then dial 911 for me or whatever you got to do. All right. That's some of the things that you're definitely going to want to have. Again, this is not all inclusive. You're going to have to kind of build your own plan and your supplies based on your lifestyle and what's going on around you. Okay, something that I carry, I want to make sure I have is something like this. If you have a vehicle that's still operational, it powers out, you can still charge things, use something like this. The inverter, I think this one's a 400 watt. They're good to have. You don't want to just have the minimum because it's going to overheat and possibly damage it with longer use. So I'd get you one a little more than what you're probably going to need. Now the other reason that I have this is that I've got a solar charger back here. Now I can hook that up to my battery or in a vehicle or any battery I want to that's 12 volt, and it's going to continuously give me a charge. So what some people have done is they've used lighting that you can buy, we'll say like Christmas lights or these LED type lights, and hung those up for lighting after disasters. So these are just some of the common items that you may want to pick up and use. FEMA tells you 3 days worth of food. Well, you can get you some MREs or something. I would have more than that. I would count on, who knows, at least a week. I have seen and worked in disasters, and food may become scarce at some points in time. Water could be a really big problem. Again, water filter. But one of the things that really bothered me working disasters is seeing that some of the people out there will take advantage of other people. So I actually saw people that we gave water to hand it out to them, and they turn around and try to sell it to their neighbor. So I've seen it happen with IC2 and generators. So what I'm telling you is be prepared the best that you can. These are some of the simple items that I carry. Not everybody's going to need everything I've got here, but you're definitely going to need the food, the water, and something to keep you warm and dry. And a way to communicate, listen to see what's going on. Again, some of the ham radios, they'll pick up FM stations. If you don't have that, get your NOAA radio or some type of a radio. Anything that's electronic, if you're going to store it, you may want to put it in some sort of waterproofing. I would advise you to do that with everything because you just never know what's going to happen. But keep the stuff in a place where it's basically going to keep dry, and it's going to have constant temperature. So that way it doesn't go bad. Batteries in your batteries or anything that you're going to get, change those out yearly. So if you have a storm shelter, have flashlights down there, go down there, change out your water and your batteries every year. Folks, that's about all I've got for the day. Again, go back, look at your situation, the environment that you're dealing with, and the threats, and build your kit around that. So I just want to say thank you, and this is CERT Instructor Ron, and please like and subscribe to my video.